Portland City Commissioner Dan Ryan is the only Portland commissioner not running for mayor. He's running for city council again in what is District 2 now, representing North and Northeast Portland. If he's reelected, he'll be the only current city commissioner to be a city councilor under Portland's new form of government. One of the architects of the city's Safe Rest Villages, now called Temporary Alternative Shelter Sites or TAS sites, Commissioner Dan Ryan is here to talk about current business on the council and what we may be able to expect after the election. So, Commissioner Dan Ryan, welcome back to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you, Ken. It's great to be here.
First question, obvious one. Why didn't you run for mayor?
Well, you have to check things out at home first, and there's that. But really, it's because I wasn't ready to not be of service to my hometown, and so I wanted to continue another 4 years. I've been in the council since 2020. Definitely seems like it's been Portland's toughest time to serve, and I've learned a lot in those 4 years. So I wanted to bring some of that current institutional memory to help build the new council. And also it's personal to me because I've spent most of my life in District 2. I was born in District 2, went to high school in District 2. My dad's small business was in St. John's. My mom went to University of Portland. And so all 8 of us in my family, I'm the youngest of 8, we all have roots in District 2. So it'll be wonderful to hopefully serve my hometown within the city.
In your role as a current city commissioner, let's talk about Mayor Wheeler's proposal for a 5% budget cut across the board, saying he didn't want to pass that budget problem to the next city council. So what does that mean for the current city council in terms of the budget cuts?
Yeah, I think it was important for the mayor and the budget office to give us the honest, updated numbers. So I think it's about transparency. It's important for people to know what we're dealing with. When I was on council during the last 4 years, we've had some federal money that's come down during the COVID crisis. So we've had some extra enhancements, if you will. And now we're having some more tightening. So that's why the mayor's proposing such things. I hope we don't look at it like one size fits all. I think it's a mistake when an enterprise does across the board cuts. I think it's most important that we continue to look at what our priorities are and then make sure that we fund those. And then we'll have to make some tough decisions, obviously, because there won't be as much revenue as we've had in terms of what's related to expenses. So we will have some tightening to do.
What are going to be your priorities in terms of the cuts?
Yeah,
what do you want to preserve?
Yeah, I want to make sure that we stay on the course. Since when I got in 2020, it was one of my first meetings, I actually said, excuse me, what are our priorities before we start making decisions about cuts and enhancements? And we all landed pretty much on the same place, Ken, and that was homelessness, public safety, and economic development. And I think a fourth one, which is kind of a big picture one, is livability. Portland's a city, a top 25 city, and it's really because of livability. Families have come here for generations to raise their children and go to our public schools. We have the highest capture rate of families that send their kids to public schools. People love our parks. It's beautiful here. They notice that right away. Our access to arts, it's a vibe. That's why Vibrant Communities was built as a part of a work area now in the city. So we have to take care of that asset and continue to invest in that as well.
But we are losing population.
That's precisely my point. And so for us, we have to look at those metrics. The only time in my lifetime where we lost population was in the early 80s. That was a transition from the timber economy, so that was an economic reason. This has actually been more of a livability challenge. So the same reason people have come to Portland for that, because of our cleanliness, our beautiful sites, our vibrant arts. Some people haven't felt as safe to live here over the last 4 years. The reputation, which I think is a little exaggerated by some news outlets, no offense, but especially nationally, I think have hurt that. So it's really important for Portland to get joy back on our streets, to have activation. I'm so proud this summer that we had more people at events downtown than we have since 2019. That's a step in the right direction. So we have to continue to feed those activation events and continue to get Portlanders back out in the street, enjoying life again.
The city just opened its 10th homeless shelter site on North Portland Road, bringing the total number of beds now to 858. How would you assess the program now, and what can we expect along those lines moving forward?
I'm very proud. I guess I'd say I was a pioneer out there taking a lot of the hits as we were trying to get these built and starting in 2021. And there was a lot of fear about what this would look like if it came to my neighborhood, which was understandable. All people could see was the unsanctioned sites, if you will, that weren't supervised. And so I think we've done a really good job of having good neighbor agreements, of making sure the area around the shelters are clean. And most importantly, we're seeing some success. In fact, we're seeing close to 50% of those in the villages and task sites are in housing within 6 to 9 months, stable in housing, as opposed to the 2 to 3% we've seen traditionally with the congregate shelters. So that's what's important, is we're bringing services to where people are. We're seeing miracles happen. There was somebody I met just recently that was homeless for years, and he got into the Safe Rest Villages, and now he's on his he's sober today. He's getting back into the workforce. And to me, Ken, that's the North Star, is to go from being dependent on drugs and alcohol, dependent on government services, to moving towards building your agency so that you are free of that, free of drugs and alcohol, and having a happy, joyous, and free life, and you're back in the workforce and you're contributing. And I actually think they're going to be our best employees to serve those who are chronically homeless.
You and Commissioners Mass and Gonzalez, who are both running for mayor, asked the city attorney to draft an ordinance that would withdraw the city from its joint Office of Homeless Services agreement. What's your issue with Multnomah County and the joint office, and when are you going to take a look as City Council at that ordinance that's been drafted?
Yeah, we'll having another conversation. We've had many, as we should. I mean, the point about this is for elected officials to have tension over the number one issue facing our city is actually healthy. And the fact that there's some disagreements, that's also healthy. That's called democracy. And I think we're just we're going to stay at the table. There's no such thing as going away from the table. Some of us just think we can build a better table. We can have clear roles and responsibilities between the two entities. We can have clear metrics on what success looks like. And I think that if we hold the line on those basic principles of partnership, we can move forward with just a better agreement. And I didn't want the new mayor and the new council to be, I think, burdened by something that too many of us are finding not to be satisfactory in terms of actually making some improvements.
Commissioner, we've got about a minute left in this conversation, but I want to get to this. You have the experience of being a sitting city commissioner, but we're going into an entirely new system. So you will be a city councilor if you win your election, if you're one of the 3 in your district. How do you see those changes with the new system, and how does your experience in the current system help you in the transition to the new one?
Yeah, I'm excited I had to think about that a lot because it's a different job. So I'm going from a current job where a commissioner has some executive oversight to a legislator. And one thing's common for both, but this will give me more time to do it, and that is to be a constituent public servant. I will have more time to be out the main streets of District 2, out in St. John's, on Mississippi, over in the Alberta Arts District, and Alameda up in the Beaumont area. My point is, I enjoy that. My job as a public servant is to really listen to what constituents are saying. Too often we only hear from the special interest. And when I go door knocking over the last 3 months, last 6 months, it's been really satisfactory and it's actually been inspiring to hear people. And they're all saying the same thing no matter their ideology. And I'll end with this. Portlanders are upset that they're spending more money to live here and their services have gone down. This is basic. These are basic services. The sewers, the streets being in good shape, 911 getting answered on time, someone showing up. Those are not ideology issues. Those are expectations that you should have when you're paying taxes to live in a city.
Commissioner Dan Ryan, thank you very much for being on Eye on Northwest Politics.
You're welcome.